Well, welcome back to another evening of Syndicate Motorsport BTCC League here. I'm Pirate Lazebeam. I'll be doing the commentary for tonight's race, and we are back with the BTC gang. This time in Italy, taking on the mighty Imola. I think last round we were at Macau, which is a very different kettle of fish entirely. And Imola should be an interesting change-up of the type of racing that we see. Obviously last round we had some really good intense battling between Eric Axelsen and Andrew Shaw. Hopefully we get a similar round of battling today. At the moment though, you can see that Eric is on pole. Forrest McCormack in P2 there with a 153.071. Binding currently in third. He did grab a podium. Actually no, it was Vars grabbed the podium last round. And Andrew at the moment down in 9th place with a 240. I expect that to change in relatively short order though. But without further ado, we've got 13 minutes and 34 seconds remaining on the qualifying session. We're going to go ahead and bring up the standings and show you guys where we are in terms of points, but also importantly in terms of ballast. So as you can see, Andrew and Eric currently separated by a mere point at the top of the championship standings with 61 and 60 kilos of ballast respectively. And then Forrest McCormack in P3 there with a close third place, 99 points, just a little bit further behind the front runners, and then consequently 57 kilos of ballast, but just a little bit less. Red is in 4th place, Viles in P5, so that's two of our moderators in the top 5. And then we've got Binding down in P6, Getty in P7, Akashik, another mod in P8, he's in top 10. And then we've got Alien, Erdi, Drift, Martin Toop, Box, Papusu, and of course a Butterlord. And there goes Eric in the pink Honda. So let's go ahead and switch up to external camera on Eric. And he's in his very nicely done Honda livery. Hailing from Sweden. My flag reading isn't incorrect. So obviously Macau, very tight street circuit, extremely narrow in certain places, and there wasn't really much opportunity to run off the track because you would hit some Armco very quickly. That made it a little bit difficult for overtaking, and Eric spent a large proportion of the race basically trying to hunt down Andrew Shaw and get past him, but ultimately was unable to do so. But here at Imola, that will all be very different. There's plenty of room on the track, plenty of places to overtake. And importantly, the runoff areas aren't straight into the Armco. So I'm expecting this to be quite a different race altogether. But what you can see is it's pretty much 153s from P3 down to P8. So that tells me this is going to have some good racing in the moments to come. And we have 11 more minutes of the qualifying session, and qualifying was 20 minutes long. And then we're getting into the first of our two 20-minute races. So Andrew's moved up the board to 6th place, 153.269. Let's go and have a look at Andrew's Toyota. And you can see that he is pushing for time. He's currently on a positive delta, or negative delta I should say, but I'm not entirely sure how that can be accurate because he's taking 3 minutes off his time on a 153 lap. That surely can't be accurate. So Andrew just lining up to get onto the start-finish straight. See if he can increase the position on the board. Seem to have moved at the board, although the delta still showing 3 minutes and 26 seconds taken off the time, which seems a little bit unrealistic. As I mentioned, the rounds are in the standard format, which is 2 20-minute races back to back, with the second race being based on the finishing positions of race number 1. 60-minute practice session, which concluded before that started at 7 o'clock, and then the 20-minute qualifying session, which we're in at the moment. 8 minutes of that to go. And you can see that we are already at 100% in terms of optimal track conditions. Like Andrew just trying to get past some traffic there. 29 degrees on the track temperature, 24 degrees ambient. A 7 km/h wind heading north. .151.725 for Eric. Andrew's going to have to work a bit harder to get close to that time. But Eric has put himself almost, 1.1 seconds clear of Neo, who's currently running in P2. Neo out here in the orange and black stripes. Here we are with Andrew. I'm not sure why that delta's all messed up. That's a little bit frustrating. I do like to see the deltas as the drivers are going round. One thing is for sure though, Andrew is definitely cooking. And you can see little puffs of smoke coming off the wheels as he pushes the Toyota to its limit. Calipers glowing there as Andrew uses all the available track. I think that's Red just ahead of Andrew there. Yes, it is. Red was in on the action last round, facing behind Andrew and Eric as they battled. So hopefully we see a little bit more of a three-way fight for the top position, but I'll settle for 2. So Andrew's on a 153.269, Red on a 153.219. Let's see what these guys can do for us. So Andrew improves 153.070 up to 6th place, but obviously massively off the pace compared to even Neo, and definitely well off compared to Eric. He's going to have to really push. There we go, the delta's fixed itself. Really push to close this gap. Look how close the times are though. 152.993 for Forrest McCormack in 3rd place, and Andrew in 6th place is less than a 10th behind that. So Akshik and his teammate Forrest are 3rd and 4th. And here's Neo. Unfortunately, I need to do the sound swap on the BMW. It's still broken. Is binding though. Teammates with Andrew Shaw. Driving the number 68 car. Sketty and Red are side by side as teammates as well. In fact, all the teammates are together. So Andrew and Forrest, Binding and Andrew, Sketty and Red. Binding, pushing it a little bit too hard there. Takes a little bit of a trip off into the sandpit, and I think he's decided he's going back to the pits. Oh, so Andrew, 152.887. He's moved up to a mere millisecond ahead of Neo. And he's now on track to get a little bit closer to Eric. He's still a second off the pace though. So basically assumed very solid P2. But let's see if he can do anything else about that little gap to Eric Axelsen. Or will Eric be dominant through qualifying, as it would seem he will be? So just 2 minutes left to go, and Andrew half a second on this lap, although gaining a little bit of time momentarily there in the last couple of corners, but ultimately falling short of going any quicker on this particular lap. We'll see if he can do anything going into the final lap, or couple. Yeah, this will be the final lap because he's on 1:44 on the clock. But finishing almost a second off his best lap time there, so see what he can do with the remaining time. Meanwhile, Red continues to lead in front of Andrew. Pretty good spread in this timing though, 152.887 for P2, and then Alien in 9th place is on a 153.677, so it's less than a second between P2 and P9. This should hopefully correlates to some very good racing, as the battles should hopefully be plentiful, but there's no guarantees. Front row seat now from Andrew's point of view, and oh, look at that, Forrest McCormack has pipped Andrew to P2, 52.787 for Forrest McCormack, with Andrew still in 3rd place by about a 10th there. So Andrew starting this race in P3, not a position he's normally finding himself in, and with the qualifying session now over, Andrew's going to have his work cut out for him today. Forrest McCormack and Eric are definitely strong competition. Eric in a league of his own at the moment, it would seem. Hey Neo, good to see you in chat. Yeah, I mean, ballast does make a difference. Forrest McCormack on 57 though. Neo on... I don't even see Neo on the list. So you probably have 0 ballast. But yeah, solid lap Neo, well done. Hey Akshik, thank you for the sub. 15 months. That's almost as many months as Andrew has fingers. Hey Carla, good to see you. How you doing? You had a good week? So we're here just chilling out at Imola in the interlude between qualifying, ending and the first race, which will be a 20-minute race. Alien. Well, I mean, that makes 2 of us, to be honest. I know just about enough to put enough fuel in the car. But need to ask Forrest McCormack for some pointers. This is probably one of the closest grids we have ever had. Or I was about to call you orange red, but that would be incorrect. Last week was awful. How come? Not a massive fan of these stream elements messages popping up now. It's fine when it's our Discord being promoted, but they do seem to be promoting other things now. Anyway, not too much longer to go before we kick off the first of the 2 rounds, and I'm looking forward to a nice clean race at Imola. What could go wrong? Oh, sorry to hear that, Carla. That's never a good time. My condolences. There we go. So, just 90 seconds to go before the beginning of the first race here at Imola. Let's see if anyone's got anything up their sleeve to try and beat Eric to the first corner. So we have Eric, Forrest. Ooh, Eric's just disappeared off the grid. That's never a good sign. Hopefully Eric makes it back onto the grid. There he is. Way! Good timing, Eric. So Eric in the first spot here. Forrest McCormack in the background there in the white and gold BMW. Then we've got Andrew Shaw in the black Toyota with the red trim. And then Neo in the other BMW in the background with the orange and black livery. So just 17 seconds left to go. That Honda does sound great. Alright, lights are up, engines are revving. And away we go. Looks like Forrest got a slightly good start there compared to Eric. Andrew off to a flying start as well as they head down to the first corner. And at the moment it's Forrest McCormack on the inside heading down to T1, using that good start to their advantage. And Eric is in a bit of a pickle here as they've got a lot of pressure from drivers around them. Forrest McCormack using the opportunity here to break away a little bit earlier. Andrew making a bit of contact with Akshik by the looks of it, but nothing too substantial, and they are Pressing on. Eric trying to go round the outside, trying to find a way past Forrest McCormack, but no such luck yet. And Akashik and Andrew making again a little bit of contact on the back there. Andrew coming out on top there as Akashik takes a little bit of a trip off into the sand pit, but seems to be still underway. Eric now off the track, trying to find a way past Forrest McCormack. He's not quite alongside yet, but he has the front of the car getting close to being alongside that rear right quarter of Forrest McCormack's BMW. As they come round over the top of the crest here, it's Neo who's putting pressure on here for both drivers at the front. In the background you can see Red and Sketty in close proximity to one another as they come through Acqua Minerale. Up over the hill, and it's going to be down to the first of the tricky chicanes. See what they have in store for us here. Eric's in front now. Forrest McCormack comes through in P2, and there's Neo in P3. Andrew still in the mix here with P4. And the grid is very tight indeed. This is going to be one hell of a race. So Eric coming down into the final couple of corners here. Neo under a bit of pressure here from Forrest McCormack. Sorry, Andrew Shaw. Beg my pardon. And it's Andrew and Binding and Sketty and Quentin in their team formations here. The only driver who is not in formation is Akashik, who is down in P8 now. But P8 to P1 isn't a great distance right now. This should mean that there's an opportunity here to recover. And Akashik's now down to P9. With Alien sneaking on through. Neo coming through hot on the heels of Forrest McCormack. Let's go on board with Mr. Andrew Shaw. And you can see his rearview mirror is full of his teammate Binding. And out front you can see Neo. A bit of a lag spike there. That was a heart-in-mouth moment for me. And as they come through to the left-hander, it's Andrew diving down the inside, takes a sneaky shot at an overtake, and Neo gets a little bit unlucky there, goes a little bit too wide, but no contact, so all good. And Andrew's up to P3. Sketty and Binding and Red, however, are right in battle mode with Binding trying to go around the outside. As they come down towards Acqua Minerale, Sketty and Red are closing in on Binding. So far all going well though. And it's Sketty trying to find a way past Binding at the moment. I think he's got a slightly better run out of the final corner there. Red looking for a way past Neo right now, thinking about it, but deciding against it as they run into that tricky chicane with the quite high curb. Easy to unsettle the car going through there. Ooh, someone just disconnected. That's Sketty back to the pit lane. And Binding putting some pressure on Red here. Red not giving in just yet. In the background, Akashik overtaking Alien. And then ending up behind Alien once again. So I think he went a little bit too hot there. There's Neo going into the pit lane. Looks like Sketty's back out on track as well, having turned to pits. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him there. But it's now Red and Binding side by side as they come down the first corner. And Red comes out on top there. Although Binding coming back strong with a bit of an overspeed here. Will Binding find a way past? He's thinking about it down the left-hand side, but not in a position to really make that work just yet. He's going to have to bide his time. And Red continues pressing on. Still in 4th place with a good chance here of keeping up with Andrew Shaw. Sorry to hear that, Neo. That's unfortunate. I did see that lag spike. So Akashik and Alien seem to be the two closest to a battle at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't have any sound for these two because I haven't switched the Ford or the BMW sound. And this pack seems to have glitched out sound for these two. Going back to Binding and Red, however, the Audi and the Toyota. Binding is 0.5 of a second behind Red at this moment in time. Let's see what it can do with this. Both cars catching a bit of curb, both going outside the white lines. Drivers have been advised that 2 tyres have to be within the white lines at all times. Well, I don't particularly think that was an advantageous position to be off track. Meanwhile, Forrest McCormack in P2 has Andrew Shaw hot on his heels. Andrew is actually slipping further back, so getting closer to a second behind Forrest McCormack now. He was within 0.5 of a second, but that has changed since I switched to the cameras. Actually closing in now, getting a bit of slipstream and overspeed, as you can see him cutting a little bit deeper into that lead that Forrest McCormack was opening there through the first couple of corners. Careful not to hit those little black things on the curb, so they can definitely unsettle the car. There's Red in the background, as is Binding. Binding, of course, in the black car with the turquoise trim. And Andrew is hot on the heels of Forrest McCormack here. Meanwhile, Eric in first place, 5.2 seconds ahead of Forrest McCormack, and the battling that these two are about to do is certainly going to be helping Eric to extend that lead. Won't be doing much to help Andrew or Forrest McCormack to get any closer though. Further back, Akashik and Alien having a good battle here. Akashik 0.2 of a second behind the Airwave Special. Nope, there's no sound for these two. I'll have to switch that out for the next race. Meanwhile, Forrest McCormack getting a little bit closer to having Andrew right on top of him. Oh, but there's Alien losing out to Akashik through the last couple of corners there. Actually just sneaking through as Alien had a little bit of a run off onto the curb and going a bit deep into the corner. But Alien's coming back and he's not giving up just yet. That Ford seems to have a pretty good straight line speed advantage. And Alien sneaks back on through. Meanwhile, Forrest McCormack and Andrew continue their battle. 0.2 of a second for Andrew Shaw behind Forrest. And in the background you can see Red closing in, Binding falling a little bit further back, and Forrest McCormack still holding on to P2. Alien and Akashik though continue, and Akashik will be looking for any little slip up from Alien. There he is, trying to push down the inside. He's going down the inside of the hairpin, bit of a bump, but it's BTCC, so racing is rubbing, or rubbing is racing I should say. Let's go back to the front here though. Forrest McCormack in P2, he's got Andrew 0.5 of a second behind, and Red is now a mere 0.3 of a second behind Andrew. Let's go on board with Red and see how things look from his point of view. Thinking about it again as they run down to the chicane here. You see just how bumpy that is from the driver's point of view. And now Red is in a really strong position here to get some strong slipstream down the start-finish straight. Stronger now than probably any of the previous laps he's had this opportunity. What is he thinking about in terms of strategy here? You see Forrest and Andrew continuing. What's Red going to do? He's got a slightly poor exit from the final corner there. That's going to hurt him down the straight here, but he should start to get some slipstream advantage coming in from Andrew, which should counteract that a little bit. There's a move from Andrew though, as we see him coming out sideways, getting past Forrest McCormack, and he's made that nice and clean. Forrest will be looking for a way back though, and it looks like Red actually taking the opportunity here to seize on the mistake that Forrest McCormack put in. Forrest going out to try and block Red a little bit there, but Red manages to weave along sideways, and now Red in a good position here to take a position, and he is through almost. Still side by side. And he's through. That puts Red up to P3, back on the podium. Forrest McCormack, who was in P2, now down in P4. But again, look at the spread of the times here. Andrew down to Alien. There's not a lot in this. And I think Forrest McCormack has got plenty of opportunities here to use the remaining 9 minutes. Oh, I spoke too soon. He's overcooked it slightly into Aqua Minerale. And is now sideways, having lost a good chunk of time there. 2 seconds, if not more, on the back of that small mistake. So 9 minutes to go. That was that felt like a long first half of the race, even though it's the normal 10 minutes we do. I think the action is making us feel like it's going on for a bit longer, and that's not a bad thing. There's plenty to talk about. So, into the second half of the race we go. Andrew still 8.7 seconds behind Eric. I mean, that lead Eric has here is very dominant, and I think he's in a really safe space now to bring this one home to victory, subject to not making any mistakes. Andrew still 0.6 of a second ahead of Red, but Red in a really strong position here to continue putting pressure on Andrew. And we know that Andrew can work pretty well under pressure, but Andrew does have to worry about this Audi getting a little bit closer. Still not entirely sure what happened to Sketty, why he went back to the pit lane. But Red is getting closer. .3 of a second as they come up over the crest. But Red was thinking about trying to find a way through there, but that's going to be a very tricky place indeed. Using the full width of the track that's available. Now Red and Andrew coming through Aqua Minerale. Red's all over the back end of Andrew. I wonder if he's got fresher tyres or something, because Andrew seems to be struggling a little bit. Let's take a look at the compounds actually. Let's see what everyone's driving on. Everyone's on the medium, so that isn't going to be what's making the difference. The Red is now 1.4 seconds behind Andrew, so Andrew can breathe easy just for a little bit longer. I don't believe that gap's going to stay big for long though. Already down to 0.7 of a second, so Red is definitely cooking. Six minutes to go. Red still working a little bit hard here to keep up with Andrew. That delta cutting to just onto the 0.5 of a second gap there. Further back though, everyone else seems to be a bit more spread out. Forrest McCormack still in 4th place though, so him with a chance of regaining some dominance here and maybe getting a shot at the podium once more. But at the moment, it's Andrew and Red who are the ones to watch. Normally Red seems to do pretty well through here, gains a bit of time on Andrew, and it's through the next couple of corners where Andrew seems to regain that time. Curves are unsettling Red, as we mentioned earlier on, they can be quite tricky. I know, bad news for Binding. He's lost out there to... Actually, it looks like a mistake from Binding, though. That led to that. So, just 4.5 minutes to go. That seems to be a pretty solid opportunity for Eric here. No real risk of him losing this top spot now. Andrew in P2 seems to be also pretty steady now. The remainder of the grid getting a little bit more separated, but hopefully we see an opportunity for a battle before the end of this race. And I'm expecting that to come from Red and Andrew here. 0.5 of a second separating these two. There they go through the chicane. Both cars cocking a wheel as they do so. And this time Red's slightly improved there. 0.4, almost 0.3 of a second as they come down to the last couple of corners. Red got in the tank for us now. This time Andrew doesn't get away through the last corner, and it's actually Red coming through now. Andrew getting out the way almost as Red comes down the right hand side. I think Andrew's gone defensive, but maybe a little bit too early. Going to be Red down the right hand side, trying to find a way past Andrew. Is he far enough ahead? Ooh, bit of a bump between the two of them. And Andrew does well to stay on the track there. See if Red's got anything back here. Still 0.2 of a second. Looks like Andrew carries a bit more speed through the second part of that corner. Red a little bit disadvantaged there. And he's back down to that 0.4 of a second gap. So good attempt there from Red, but just needs to work a little bit harder now to make that stick. Once again, Red coming up on the attack. Once again, thinks about it, backs out. Slightly wide on the exit. And this time 0.4 of a second going into the last couple of corners. That doesn't close this gap. Ooh, but there we go, that's going to be quite damaging. Catches a bit of grass as well. And exits the final corner with 0.4 of a second, but is actually closing. Get back to this view here. So can Red slingshot this? If he overtakes it later on in this straight, it puts him in a better position than he was before. But I think he's not going to get there in time. But it almost sounds like he's on the top of his rev limiter. This time coming through first couple of corners with a nice strong effort there. Andrew carrying a bit more speed though. Red's going to have to be careful to imitate that line if he can. Ooh, cuts back nicely on the second corner there. Brings a lot of speed with him, but nowhere to use it unfortunately. Red going out to the wide side of the corner, looking for a tighter exit. And there is a nice little overtake from Red on Andrew. Very nicely executed from Red. I think Andrew was being a bit too defensive into that hairpin, and that's definitely cost him a bit of time. And it gives us 1 second left on this race, and it's the last lap. Let's see whether Forrest McCormack gets a shot at catching up with these two, whether it's going to be Andrew and Red to the line. We're on board with Andrew now, as he attempts to catch up with Red, who's just snuck in to P2 at the last second there. And that's very nicely done from Red, but he's not there yet. He's got a couple more corners to go. And round the final corner they come. Andrew 0.4 of a second behind. As they come round. It's Red in P2, Andrew in P3, Forrest McCormack takes P4, Akashik in P5. Eric, of course, solid number 1 there. Alien to grab P7 by the looks of it, and then it'll be Erdy, Butterlord, and Sketty is finished in 10th. So, I promised you guys a good race today, and we have not been disappointed. Red and Andrew's fight to the line there was quite something, and Red very cheekily at the last moment on the final lap, sneaking in there with a P2 overtake. So, very well done, Red. Well done, Red. Solid effort. Nicely done onto the T2 spot there. Picked your moment just right. Wow, actually, that's cutting it close. You almost did a binding. 0.02 litres. Well, I think Butterlord has slightly less fuel than you, Akshik, as they roll to the finish line. Oh, they're getting a bit of a shunt. Oh, a bit too much of a shunt, I think. I hope that whoever's shunting them realises that for Butterlord, that the race technically hasn't ended for him, so that all counted as negative safety rating. Whoops! Of course, Red has already finished the race, so that won't have counted against him. But there we go, Butterlord has now finished the race, and unfortunately Neo's internet letting him down today. I had to disconnect earlier on, but there we go. So hang tight, and we'll be kicking off with another race momentarily. Let me know, Red, if you want me to force the next session to begin. So let's see whether race number 2 grants the same outcome. Hopefully lots of action. So how much fuel are you carrying, Neo? Is it less than Akshik? There we go, the session has kicked off into the 90-second countdown to race number 2. That's a pretty good angle. See how that goes. I actually go with we'll stick with this one. Yeah, what's going on with your internet, Neo? Is it just a unstable connection? Are you using Wi-Fi or are you using a wired connection? So lights are up, engines are revving. And away they go. Looks like Eric is in a pretty good spot this time. In the background you can see Akshik and Forrest McCormack weaving backwards and forwards. It's Andrew in P2 as they head down to the first corner. And he's actually side by side with Red. Red on the inside this time, with a bit of a good advantage there. But Red's just been collected in the rear by one of the BMWs, and that was only one car getting taken out there, so that's not enough to warrant a restart. But it's Andrew who got taken out there most severely and is down to P10 as a result. In the background though you can see Forrest McCormack going wide, with Binding getting caught out a little bit there as well. And meanwhile Eric has just been given free rein to escape early on in this race. But as they come through the first lap, Akshik is in P3, Forrest McCormack leading the rest of the group here, and Butterlord and Sketty coming through Aqua Minerale now, with both of the drivers from Binding and Andrew's team bringing up the rear at the moment, so not a great position for those two. Caught up a little bit behind Butterlord right now. And Sketty's gone around the outside, bit of a contact there, and Binding seems to have taken a slightly off-road route through the chicane there. Down into the penultimate corner, and it's Sketty being pushed now from Andrew. Binding bringing up the rear. As they all come down to the first corner, it's Sketty leading the pack now, but there's Butterlord getting caught out by Andrew, and it's a big off for Butterlord. Andrew up to P8 now, Sketty still in P7, and Binding also in the mix here, so Binding and Andrew have spent a large amount of this race at the back, which is not where they want to be. So both of the Toyotas really pushing Sketty and the Audi now. Andrew's actually in P9, trying to find a way past his own teammate right now. And as we see from Andrew's point of view, he has not got a lot of room to get around here. I know he's really pushing hard here against Sketty, but Sketty just hasn't presented any opportunities for an overtake. Meanwhile, Andrew, if he's suffering from any kind of damage or fire issues potentially, but struggling to make ground here, and he's going to have to get past these two quickly if he wants to start climbing back up the ranks. I think they're near. Not sure, Neo, about that. Maybe the headset, it's getting on a bit. Weaving backwards and forwards past Sketty as they try and find a way around, and as they go around the hairpin, it's finally on the outside here. He's side by side with Sketty now, and actually seems to be pulling ahead. The first of the overtakes. Andrew needs to repeat the same thing, otherwise he's not going to be able to start gaining some ground in the positions here, and he's pushing now through Acqua Minerale, goes around the outside. Loses out a little bit there to Sketty, who manages to hold on to P8. As they come through that chicane with the bumpy curbs, it's Andrew on the left, trying to get past Sketty, but Sketty just isn't making this easy for him. And Andrew's now slipping down the inside of the penultimate corner, but Sketty's got an opportunity here to come back. I think Andrew's now locked in and he's through. Sketty down to P9, Andrew up to P8, but he's lost 6 minutes of race time and he's got a lot of work to do here to start gaining some ground on the remainder of the grid. This could really hurt Andrew's fight for the championship. Meanwhile, with Red having done well in the last race, that does mean that he is in a good position here to actually maybe sneak past Andrew in the overall standings, especially if Red pulls off another podium in race number 2. That's definitely going to push him further up the rankings than Mr. Shaw. Binding now pushing to get past Erdy, and sneaks on through as they come over the crest. It will be Andrew Shaw's turn next. Coming up to Acqua Minerale now, you can see Andrew behind Erdy right now. Is he going to take a nice little lunge here? No, he's not. He's going to play it safe. That makes 2 of us, Neo. My headset is definitely getting on a bit. The cable's about to give out, I'm pretty sure. Andrew's through. Takes the opportunity. Same move that he used on Sketty not a lap ago. Now it's Sketty putting a bit of pressure onto Erdy as well. I think Sketty's going to get past actually. He's side by side, neck and neck with his fellow Audi driver, Erdy. And as they come down to the first corner, it's Erdy on the inside. Sketty actually 0.2 of a second behind Erdy. Looks to be making ground. Let's see whether Sketty's going to be sneaking through. Yes, it looks like he is. Nice clean overtake there for Sketty. Up to P8 for Sketty. Erdy now down to P9. I'm a big fan of the dynamic stuff Neo. Actually, I've got some DT990 Pros, which I really like. Although that's not what I do commentary on, because I have no microphone, obviously. So, with 10 minutes, 53 seconds left on the clock, it's Binding and Andrew climbing the ladder here, P6 and P7 respectively. Next on the list is Alien, who is 5.5 seconds behind Forrest McCormack. But I think Binding and Andrew will be looking to get past as soon as they can, so they can carry on hunting their way up the rankings here. Although Forrest McCormack battling with his own teammate here as they come over the start-finish line. 0.1 of a second for Forrest McCormack. He's actually going around the outside. Going to be putting himself in a good spot here for the first corner as he comes down on the inside, and Akashik will be probably losing out here unless they take each other out in the first corner, which they've managed to avoid doing. But it looks like Binding and Andrew are both past Alien now. So Binding's just got 4.8 seconds to go to catch up with these two. And there's 9 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock to make that happen. I love it when you see the teammates battling. So, Binding and Andrew battling still. 0.1 of a second separating these two. And Andrew looking for a crack in the armour to see if he can sneak on through. And it looks like it's happening almost now. At least 0.2 of a second behind still. They're going to be wanting to make sure that they don't take each other out. And it's Andrew who's lost out there. He's back down to P8. And back to be P9 as he did the right thing, held his brakes. Bit of a honk of a horn there from Erdy. But Andrew's race has just been given a big setback. Getting up to P6 with Alien in hot pursuit, 0.3 of a second behind. Gap extending now. Yeah, Neo, the 990s, highly recommend. They're very comfortable, open backed as well, so you can hear stuff that's going on and gives it a more natural sound. Very good for mixing. You do any of that kind of stuff. Forrest McCormack still in P3 with Akshik only 0.3 of a second behind. And with 8 minutes left to go, there's an opportunity for Akashik to get back on the podium. Or just onto the podium. Let's have a look at Erdy and Andrew. Andrew giving it all the beans here at the moment, but just about sneaks through against Erdy there. Takes back up to P8. Red, on the other hand, just out here chilling on his own. 5 seconds behind, 8 seconds ahead. And it's Forrest McCormack and Akshik where the action is right now. Really must get the sound for these two switched out. Ooh, Forrest McCormack, what is that? Oh, sorry, that was Akshik, wasn't it? Yeah, Forrest was fine. It was Akshik doing something. Akashik doing Akashik things, I think. Oh, there we go. The battle between the teammates has come to an end. Forrest McCormack has come out on top. Let's go back to Binding, who is in P5, just coming over the start-finish line with Sketty closing in. say 5.5 minutes. Binding is opening up a bit of a gap to Sketty. 1.1 seconds between these two. Meanwhile, at the front, we've got Eric literally racing against himself as he continues to lead this race. Solid performance from Eric in both race number 1 and race number 2. I don't think it's any risk of him losing out to anyone in this race. Let's take a little bit moment to enjoy the sounds of the Honda though. It's definitely a nice sounding car. Very aggressive lines there for Eric. In the background you can see Red just appearing 8.5 seconds behind for Red. That's an interesting angle actually. You don't actually appreciate how much of an incline there is on the exit of this corner as it goes up the hill. Trailing smoke off the back of the Honda there as Eric comes through Aqua Minerale there, lighting up the tyres. I think Eric's one of the few drivers, if not the only driver, who's driving the Honda, and the Honda seems to be an absolute dynamo. Let's go back to Binding, who is now putting some pressure onto Akashik. 0.5 of a second between these two. Let's see if Binding can do anything in the next 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Yeah, that's true, Neo. That's true. On board with Binding here as they head down to T1. Akashik in front in the Beamer, and I feel that Binding is putting up a very strong effort here. I like how the Speedo says, remember to fill up your... Not entirely sure what the last word is. Let's see if we can see it anywhere. Remember to fill up with race fuel. That's so ironic that Binding's driving this car. Unless that was actually added to the livery, maybe. Let's see if it says the same thing in Andrews. No, it doesn't. So yeah, it's a troll for Binding. So 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Binding definitely piling on the pressure here with Akashik as they come down to the last couple of corners. 0.3 of a second going in. Let's see what they can do on the start-finish straight. Whether there be a slipstream opportunity here for Mr. Binding. 0.6 of a second coming out the corner though, so suffered a little bit mid-corner. Is gaining some ground now against Akashik. 0.4 of a second. Bit of an overspeed coming into play now. Hey Vars, good to see you. You're missing out on a good race. There's the overtake opportunity for Binding. Not quite getting that to stick though. And he's continuing the push. Akshik goes defensive, but Binding's got a good amount of speed here. If he can stay alongside in the first corner, he'll be in a good spot for the second corner, but it's actually both of them running off into the dust there. And the battle continues. Here's the opportunity though. Will Toyota Power outdo a German and a German car? And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is yes, it will. Binding's through to P4. That puts Akshik down to P5. And it's the last lap, so Akshik has got to do something now if he's going to get this position back. There's no more time to wait. So Akashik had a little bit of a sniff there. He's only got the corners to play with now. I think Binding's top speed advantage on the straight line is just too powerful. So Eric wins the race. Red takes P2, that's 2 podiums for Mr. Red. Forrest Cormack finishing in P3. And Binding takes P4, Akshik in P5, Sketty close behind with a P6, Andrew down in P7. His championship hopes have been a little bit dented today. And Alien in P8. There's Andrew, Alien and Erdy finishing up this race. So there we go. Action-packed as usual. Let's go ahead and open the interview channel and I'll bring the guys in for a bit of a chat. I'll do it one at a time. Goes up the deal. He gets a star on his car for every race win. So let's bring in Andrew first. Mr. Andrew.
Yeah.
How'd your race go?
It was pretty bad, mate. I'm not sure if you were watching.
Yeah, I mean I saw a little bit of that going on. First race was good. Second race not so much.
It is what it is,
Well, let's talk about the first race. Pretty good battle there with Red all the way to the end of the race, and then getting pipped just at the last second to P2. How was that battle?
It was pretty fun. Did you see the overtake on stream or not?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It was so shit from me. I just parked it on the apex and then he just drove around the outside. It was pretty bad. Oh yeah, both of my crashes in race 2 pretty much my fault, so I'm just terrible at driving.
Well, you can't win it all the time, Andrew, and at least this way it spices up the championship a little bit, because I think Red have now snuck past you in the standings overall. But unfortunately, it's making this very easy for Eric. Eric seemed to be an absolute champion today. No one was getting close to Eric.
Just crown him already. That pace was unbeatable.
Yeah, not quite the fight that we saw at Macau last weekend. How's the car feeling then with the ballast you've got right now? Is that a manageable amount of ballast, or is it having a significant impact?
Due to the nature that it's front wheel drive, it never felt good to begin with. So it's I can't really tell.
Getting progressively worse then.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay, well, sounds good. How is the rest of the championship looking? Are there any circuits coming up which you think are going to be better for you and your car setup? Because it seems like the Toyotas are pretty good for top end.
I think it's just the BMW which has terrible top end. I think everything else is about the same.
Okay.
GT5.
Well, Road
So
Atlanta's next. That should, you know, really suffer for the BMWs then, but should be good for you
yeah,
Toyota guys.
yeah, Red Atlanta should be fun as long as I don't understeer to death in like T1.
Yeah. Is that a primary concern that you have with the understeer in the front wheel drive cars then? Because I remember the Project Cars 2 days, I always drove the BMW 3 Series, I think it was, as the only touring car which had rear wheel drive. Because all the front wheel drive cars, I would just cook the tyres in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. It's just if as soon as you step on the right pedal, you're pretty much going straight.
I
And
see. Okay, well done today on the first race at least. Second race not quite what you wanted, but hopefully you come back strong for the remainder of the rounds. And I look forward to seeing what you've got to deliver next weekend.
I might be able to pin this on Akashik. Do you think it'd be funny if I reported him?
Well, I mean, you are within your rights to do so if you feel there's something there to review.
And if I reported it, it'd expose my dog shit driving as well. So I don't think I will.
I think your interview's done that and all the stream.
Yeah, but I don't want you to see it in slow motion in like 5 different angles. So
Okay, so I shouldn't join the chat after the race while you dissect the racing minute detail doing that.
I can just tell you, I just drive across the front of Red's car as if he wasn't there.
I
He
see.
did get punted. He got punted by Akashik into me, but it didn't matter because I was going to drive into him anyway. So, and then I drove into my teammate in the chicane. We'll ignore that.
Yeah, I did see that as well. But yeah. Well, I guess
Shall I get the others for you?
well, yeah, I'll bring Pixel in next. But yeah, thanks Andrew for the interview as always, and look forward to seeing you next weekend to see what you've got to deliver at Road Atlanta.
More disappointment, I think. See you later.
See ya. All right, Pixel, let's bring you in.
Hello.
Hey, good to see you again. How are things?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Can be happy enough in the circumstances.
Yeah, so talk me through your race today. Obviously, race number 2 granted you a P3. How did race number 1 go? I need to stop asking these questions to you, Pixel, don't I? Every time I interview you, it's always
It's just frustrating. It's like you come on to the start finish straight and the gap to any other car is half a second or less. You're being overtaken. It's an inevitability. There's nothing you can do about it. Like the BMW is a really fun car to drive, but there's no raceability. Like the track selection just kills the raceability of this car, to be honest.
Yeah, so is it your top end
Lose
is how
so
much slower is it? Is it 5 kilometers an hour or so?
It's like 7 or 8 in some places,
Okay.
and it's slow to get there as well. Is the other thing. It doesn't. The launch off the line is good, but launch in like third, fourth gear off corners, it's just not. There's not a lot there.
So let me get this straight. The car has slow acceleration, a lower top speed, and the car has no sound unless you sound swap it. What brought you to this decision in the first place, Pixel?
Front wheel drive cars are not fun to drive. That's what brought me to this decision. I really don't enjoy how it feels to drive front wheel drive cars. That's why I chose the BMW.
I see. And was
Had
there
nothing
any
to do with
influence
race.
from your teammate here to pick the
Uh,
car? Was actually driving the BMW anyway?
he was driving the BMW anyway for exactly the same reason.
Oh, I
So
see. Interesting.
it made sense. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, Road Atlanta sounds like it's going to be an equally painful experience then for the BMWs. Are there any tracks coming up which you think the BMW will be more dominant at?
Maybe Bicker Nicky. That's about it. The rest are going to be a sufferfest.
Yeah, Snetterton won't help you, and neither will Bathurst. So,
No.
okay. Well, I mean, it's not.
Watch it happen. We will lose literally a second on the Conrad Straight. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's downhill, right? So you got a little bit of help there with acceleration. But you are still P2 in the championship right now, so that's going well at least. If your teammate who's driving the same car is in P7, so it's not all over yet.
Yeah. No, I'm happy overall. It's the actual like driving the car is fun. It's the racing that's the issue. I think if you're a MotoGP fan, I feel like Fabio Quartararo.
I see. I'm not, but I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love that though. You're in a racing series. You're like, oh, the car's great. You know, it's fantastic. Driving, absolute dream. The problem is the racing. Just a minor point.
Yeah, minor inconvenience.
Exactly. Okay, Pixel. Well, you know, glad to see you grab another podium today, and your championship seems to be going well despite the car selection.
Yeah.
I'll let you run, but yeah, good to see you today, and congratulations. We'll see you next weekend. Can you send up Mr. Red? I need to come and talk to him about his double P2, if you wouldn't mind.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Bye-bye.
So, there we go, Forrest McCormack. Yeah, set up daddy. Unable to fix his BMW's issues, but seemingly able to get good points out of it anyway. So, that's when you know you've got a good driver in the car. So Red is muted. Might be AFK. Maybe no interview for Red. If no one jumps up here, oh, there he is. Red, I was literally just about to kill the stream there. I didn't think you were coming.
Sorry, the Discord call was pretty loud, so I was struggling to hear the stream.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Red. 2 P2s today.
Yeah, that was pretty unexpected from the qualifying. The pace was very close and really fast as well.
Yeah, no, I think you gained 5 positions in the first race and snuck that last second overtake on Andrew, which got you the P2.
Yeah, really happy about that one because the previous time we encountered on track, I couldn't manage to overtake him. Being in the Vintage Wednesday League or the DTM League we did the previous Saturday League. 2 times I was stuck behind him the whole race. So I'm really happy I managed to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, well done. And I think that's been a big kind of boost to your championship points. A little bit hard to tell where you are in the championship now because of the drop points system. But I think going into this race you were 5 points behind Andrew, so you'll definitely be ahead of him now. Although technically it's telling me that you're 4th and he's 2nd because of the drop round, I assume.
Yeah, I missed race 1, but yeah, I'm actually surprised by the results I'm being able to put here because on the league overall, I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest, from me. Especially when you have like Andrew who has won leagues like back to back. Eric was insanely fast.
Yeah, no one was getting close to Eric today.
Yeah, we have a good list of very good drivers. So I'm pretty surprised and pleased to be among them. But yeah, I did really put the practice on for tonight and try to do some setup. It seemed to work.
Okay,
a bit.
Good.
And we'll see how it works going forward.
Very good. Well, it's nice to see the grid starting to fill out a little bit as we've got into the rounds of this league. I think the racing's been really good, and I think people have been hearing about it. So today's race certainly reinforced that with your battle with Andrew, and yeah, had me on the edge of my seat. So hopefully people are enjoying watching the content if they're not partaking in it. But yeah, congratulations, Red. Are you feeling confident going into the remaining rounds? Are there any particular ones which you're looking forward to or worried about?
Yeah, probably like Bathurst. I'm worried about Bathurst. That is such a scary track. Like in whatever car you are. So the mountain section, like most of it I'm fine, but the very like the top of the mountain in the downhill is so scary. I'm too cautious in it, so I'm often losing sometimes. At least in qualifying.
Yeah, well, the
I don't know
downhill
if
section
it's
in a front-wheel
something
drive car, how will that work? Is that going to be quite tricky then?
No, I think just it's like the track is mostly about confidence in the car anyway. So you just need confidence in your skill and in your car, which I often struggle in those like different difficult corners.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. The advantage, as we saw in the start of race 2, is front wheel drive is just you get like start to drift and just put the pedal to the metal and gets you back in the right direction.
Yep. Yeah. If in
So
doubt, flat out in front-wheel drive.
exactly, like that's a safe pedal in front wheel drive car. Just press the throttle hard and you will be facing forward. Um, but it will be interesting. We have a big, like, nice mix of technical circuit and say easy, fast ones.
Yep.
So I really expect like close fields again for the midfield up to the front.
Yeah, I hope so. I
But
mean,
it's
today's field in the qualifying was extremely tight. It was less than a second between pretty much the entire grid. So let's hope that
yeah,
continues.
just the 3/10 between like P2 to P7 or 8.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, getting to the really good racing in this league. So yeah, thanks very much for the interview, Red. Really excited to see the rest of the progress in the championship, and let's see how things turn out. Maybe you get lucky, and Andrew has a few more kind of bad races, and you can kind of get a bit more ground there. But I think it's going to be a question of whether anyone catch up with Eric.
Yeah, that would be a big if because he has a drop round as well he missed round 1, the same as me, but he has so much more pace.
Yeah.
So it will be hard, but the ballast success ballast might help as well to get him back closer to us.
Yeah, well, hopefully that will make the difference. But the new point scoring system, I think, is working pretty well actually, because just keep things a little bit more competitive and tight, which is good.
Yeah, I think we've had some complaints at the start, even before the race when we showed the new system. We eventually prepared a slight modification to it if needed. But I really think it's great. Allows to fight for every position.
Yeah.
And it still rewards the winner of the race. So we'll see how it works. But so far I'm really happy with how close the competition looks. Even with some people missing rounds here and there, it hurts. But if you get the results in the other race, and with the drop round as well, it makes it really manageable and more people being able to fight for more positions.
Yeah, I think it definitely rewards attendance, which is good. Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks, Red, and I'm sure you'll be enjoying the rest of the evening with a big smile on your face with two podiums to talk about. Yeah, let's leave it there, and we'll see you next weekend for the next round at Road Atlanta.
Next weekend is not a league week actually.
Okay, it's the break weekend, isn't it? So
yeah, it's a break week.
2 weeks from now. Okay, well, good. Everyone's got a bit of a break then.
Bit of break, more time to practice for the future rounds. prepare the setup and everything.
Very nice, very nice. Well, yeah, I think we need to help a few people in the chat who haven't got much of a clue when it comes to setting up. I think Alien was saying he could do with some help on the Ford. I might need to put him in touch with Pixel.
Yeah, sure. I think we have several guys that will be more than happy to help for the setups.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, Red. Well, yeah, thanks again for your racing today and giving us a good show, and also thanks for all your help with organising everything, of course. So let's see what you have in store for the next round, and may your long march to the top continue.
Yeah, thank you very much for the stream, for the commentary.
Yeah, no problem at all. My pleasure. All right, cheers, Red. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Catch you later. Alright guys, I think that is everything, so let's go ahead and wrap up the stream, and I will see you all next round, which is in 2 weeks from now. There might be another event next weekend which will possibly involve some commentary. We'll have to see what's going on and whether the attendance is good. But otherwise, have a good evening, enjoy the rest of your weekends, and I will catch you all again soon.